The Chicago Bears have officially been eliminated from the playoffs, but can we still say that the 2023 season was a successful season for this team? Let's talk about it, starting now. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talking Bears, how Bears fans talk. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. Listen, Bears have been eliminated after the drumming that the Minnesota Vikings took at the hands of the Packers yesterday, unfortunately. And the Bears are no longer going to be in the playoffs. Listen, it was going to be a long shot anyway. There's a 0.1% chance that the Bears made the playoffs. We kind of knew it wasn't going to happen. But I still kind of want to look at this and say, even though the Bears have missed the playoffs, can we say that 2023 was a successful season? I want to do this ahead of the Packers game because I know if the Bears go out there and lose to the Packers again in any fashion, my opinion is going to change because I'm going to be pissed off that we lost to the Packers. Like, I know myself as a Bears fan. For me to give an honest analysis of this team, I have to do it before we go into Lambeau Field, hopefully coming away with a dub. But just in case we don't, I just know that it would change my entire outlook of this team because it is a week-to-week type of thing in the NFL. But I want to be fair to what the Bears have actually accomplished this season, because I do think that we can say that the 2023 season has been a successful season, even if they go into Lambeau and take an L. Now, here's the thing about it, though, right? Like, what did we come into the season asking? And for me, there were a bunch of things on my checklist that I had for the Chicago Bears, basically that I wanted them to accomplish this season. Number one, I wanted them to be able to go out there and find a way to win games. Have they done that? Yes, they have. Have they done it on a consistent enough basis? No, but I do think that there were opportunities for this Bears team to go out there and win games. There were ones that they took advantage of. There were others that they did not take advantage of, but were in a position to win those games. And that's kind of what I asked for coming into this season. Put yourself in a position where if it's at the end of the game, you should be up in the game. Now, it took history basically for the Bears to kind of screw that up, becoming the only team to lose games where you've got a 2+ touchdown, 2+ score lead, and you end up finding a way to lose a game in the fourth quarter with 6 minutes to go. But on the flip side of that, are there things that can be cleaned up? Are there things that the Bears can continue to learn from? Are there things that more talent in those situations helps? Yeah, there are, right? And I think that we've seen the Bears kind of bounce back a little bit from that, even though they lost that game in Cleveland. Bad game for the Bears overall. But I look at that Detroit game. Were they able to overcome what Detroit did to them in that fourth quarter there? Yeah, they were, because they played Detroit 2 weeks later, played that same team. That team knew what was coming, and the Bears were still able to go in there and find a way to get a dub. That's important. Bouncing back off of the Denver game, we saw the Bears go out there and start to win some games as well. And I think as you look around, right, that's really what we wanted at the beginning of the season as Bears fans, to be in that in the hunt graphic. Well, we've been in that in the hunt graphic now for pretty much 4 weeks or so as the Bears have fought their way back into this, and they've done a really good job at home defending the homestand. They've also done a really good job over their last 5 games. I believe they're 4-1 in their last 5 games. The one game that they lose, an absolutely gross game versus Cleveland, where the offense just did not come to play. The defense showed up. Sometimes that happens. It's not what I wanted to see happen. In the moment that I felt was most important, could I see or do I need the Bears to come away with a win in that situation? Do I need the offense to have a better game plan in that situation? 100%. But can I sit here and tell you that where we started 0-4 in this entire season, as the season has gone on, that I'm surprised that this team has found a winning way and has found a way to win a lot of the. I really am, right? After those first 4 games, if they can go into Lambeau and win the game, you're talking about this team going 8-4 the rest of the way. Or I'm sorry, 8-5 the rest of the way. That is really, really good football the rest of the way. And if you can extrapolate that out for the rest of the season, some of those games you should have been able to pick up, maybe next year feels a little bit brighter. So to me, that is a bright spot for this team, how they've been able to turn things around in the win column. And double up the wins that they have? Can they continue to almost triple up, right? 8-9, you had 3 wins, almost triple up, and there's some games that you left on the table that you absolutely have to get next season no matter what. So I look at that situation and say, I love all of that. I think that that's okay. I came into the season saying find ways to win games. They've done that. Can they finish this thing out in Lambeau? That's going to be the question. The other thing that I wanted to see was development of the young players, where you're going to be able to come into this season and continue to develop guys. I start with the quarterback position. I do think that Justin Fields has developed. I do think that Justin Fields is better than what he was last season. Does that mean he's a finished product? Heck no, not at all, right? But when I look at what Justin Fields has been able to come into this year and do, missing 4 games this season, he's got 17 passing touchdowns. He's got 4 rushing touchdowns. He's got 9 interceptions. He's got 4 fumbles lost, right? So the turnovers still need to go the other direction, especially the fumbles. 10 fumbles on the season in total, but 4 fumbles lost. Some of those fumbles too, you kind of look at him and go, yeah, right? Like the center snapping him over his head. He's fighting for his life here. I think same with the interceptions, right? Those 2 Hail Mary interceptions. Okay. All right. So I can live with the 9 interceptions when I know in my mind, right, it's really 7, but you threw 2 Hail Marys, but the numbers count. The numbers are what they are. So to me, okay, boom, let's finish out this season. No turnovers, no more interceptions. Give me a couple of more touchdowns. And I feel like there has been development as far as him as a passer. You see how he's been able to throw the football to DJ Moore. I love when people are just like, this guy can't throw the football at all. Meanwhile, DJ Moore and Cole Kmet have had really good seasons. Do I want to see him get the ball around to other guys a little bit more? Yeah, I'd love to see Darnell Mooney be able to get involved a little bit more with that. I'd love to see Roshan Johnson or Khalil Herbert or Deontay Foreman, whoever's in at the running back position, be able to get a little more involved in that. But I'd also like to see some of my wide receivers bring in the football when it's thrown their way. Looking right at you there, Tyler Scott, Velus Jones, Darnell Mooney. I'm just saying. But at the end of the day, right, like, have I seen development from Justin Fields? I have personally. If you haven't, I don't know what to tell you, right? Like, I think that he's taken a step forward as a passer. I think the numbers would back that up as well. I think when you look at the rest of this team, though, offensively, what'd you see from rookie Darnell Wright? Feel like he's had a really good season. He looks like he's going to be a guy that can stand on that right side for a long time. He's been dealing with injury for weeks at this point, and he's been able to play through it and still go out there and give you some really good play on that right side. Love what we're seeing there. I think you've seen some development from Tevin Jenkins as well. I know he's in his 3rd year, but continuing to get better, continuing to me, prove that he's the number 1 piece on this offensive line right now outside of Darnell Wright. I look at the defensive side of the ball, and I said this on the radio. I've said this multiple times on the post-game show. I was on ESPN 1000 in the morning covering for Cap and J Hood. We were on for Waddle and Sylvie today. Yesterday's win was Ryan Poles' win, right? And I think that's the number 1 thing that you can say, because when you look at the young people on the field, you look at Tyreek Stevenson, you look at Javon Dexter, you look at Kyler Gordon, heck, you look at Jalen Johnson, right? You look at, name so many names out there of these young guys and guys that Ryan Poles has signed and or drafted, and it just feels like they've had a great finish to this season. And all of a sudden you see this defense moving in the right direction. The Chicago Bears defense is number 1 in takeaways in the NFL right now with 21. And I want y'all to understand why that is an amazing stat. If I'm not mistaken, we did not get an interception for the first 5 weeks of the season. We were that bad. We were horrible at taking the football away. Maybe week 5, I believe, is the first week that we got our first interception, but we were horrible at taking the football away. And now we're number 1 in the NFL in interception, one of the top teams in takeaways as total, right? Like, I love what we're seeing from this Bears defense, and this is the young pieces that are doing it. Also, Javon Dexter, got to give credit to him. 1.5 yesterday. He's continually gotten better as the season has gone on, and we've continued to see him be able to create pressure, get to the quarterback. What does that do? Also, on the back of Montez Sweat, when you see Sweat coming in, trading that 2nd round pick away, I think that is one of the big storylines as well, because when you see that 2nd round pick traded for Sweat and he's come in and been successful right away, and you feel like, okay, well, maybe Ryan Poles does know what he's doing, because the last time he traded a 2nd round pick, it was for Chase Claypool, and this guy was terrible here in Chicago. And I just it's one of those situations where I truly feel like the Chicago Bears are continuing to develop young pieces while putting good veteran pieces in place. Montez Sweat, Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards. You're seeing guys, Jack Sanborn, don't forget about him. Throw him in the mix as well. Like you're seeing guys develop as we're seeing this team be created, and they still are missing their most key piece in their three technique. There's still pieces that need to be added to this team. So I think that there's a success in the development aspect of it. And on top of it, to complete Ryan Poles' trifecta yesterday, I mean, listen, you end up coming away with the #1 overall pick in the draft 2 years in a row. Ryan Poles pulling off what to me is the greatest fleece of my lifetime, been on the earth. It'll be 30 years this year. And this is the greatest fleece that I've ever seen in my life. I wasn't alive for the Herschel Walker trade. It's probably the greatest fleece in NFL history. I get it. But like this is, you got DJ Moore, you got Tyree Stevenson, you got Darnell Wright, you got a 2nd round pick coming up next year and the 1st overall pick. What a haul. Are you kidding me? I think that on top of that, looking at how DJ Moore has been, right, he's on a very team-friendly contract. And to me, he is absolutely living up to every penny you've paid him to this point, and then some. You're probably underpaying this guy with the amount of skill that he brings to the team and how he's been able to go out there and attack. So I truly do feel like there are so many things coming into the end of this season that speak to the Chicago Bears successes, that speak to this Bears team continuing to move in the right direction. I think the best part about all of that is, right, when you talk about the 2023 season, is it a success or not? By the way, let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, all that good stuff. When you talk about the 2023 season being a success or not, you also have to talk about the kind of flexibility that this team continues to have moving forward. And I've said this yesterday, I'll continue to say it. Whether you're a Fields guy or not, Ryan Poles has put our Chicago Bears in the perfect position to do whatever he deems the right move. He's put us in a position where we can hold on to Fields, we can continue to build by trading back draft capital. We can continue to go out there and find good pieces in the free agent market. We can continue to go out there and add to this team in a multitude of ways and keep Justin Fields if that's what he wants to do. Or if you want to move on from Justin Fields played really, really well yesterday. Seems like he's showing some development. He's moving in the right situation. You trade away Justin Fields. You get the picks from that. You pick your next #1 overall quarterback or whatever it ends up being. You continue to go through the entire process of now building that back up. You still got time and draft capital to go out there and add more pieces. Still got money. Now you got more money because you're not paying Justin Fields. Like there's so many things that Ryan Poles can do. And it's just insane to me that sometimes people forget that 3 years ago, Ryan Pace was in this building and it felt like the Chicago Bears had their backs up against the wall like a raccoon with an animal control agent chasing them. You know what I mean? Like it's night and day, the situation that we're in now from the situation that we were coming from. And I absolutely love what I'm seeing from this Chicago Bears front office. And now we got Kevin Warren in the mix. Now we've got him working with Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham. What is that going to be moving forward? I think the success of the Bears is just beginning, and I think that it's going to continue going into this offseason. And so when you look at the 2023 season as a whole, having that flexibility, having those options, having young pieces that are moving in the right direction, possibility of paying Jalen Johnson. If you don't pay Jalen Johnson, you got Tyree Stevenson, who stepped in on Drake London yesterday and had a great game. Yeah, I mean, like there's so many options for the Chicago Bears moving forward, and the pieces that you have locked up feel like secure pieces and great leaders in this locker room that you feel like you have something to continue to build on. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2023 season was all about finding a way to build a foundation and start to move you in the right direction. Well, you know what? The foundation to me is built. Now let's start working on putting the house up and start adding some floors on this thing, man. Like I love where we're at right now as a Chicago Bears fan. I think that the Bears are completely moving in the right direction. I think that we can call this season a success based on wins, based on all the things that we asked for at the beginning of the season. Like I said, most Bears fans be in the hunt, compete for a playoff spot, go out there and win games. Continue to develop Justin Fields, continue to develop these young pieces and secure the #1 overall pick. I don't know how you would look at this season as not a success, but if you do, let me know why in the comments below. Do you think that this Bears team will continue to move in the right direction, or do you think that they're kind of still in the same place that they were last season? As always, man, I mean, this is a team to me that if push comes to shove and we're talking about them next season not being a 10 to 11 win team, the aspiration should be 12 wins next year. But if they're not a 10 to 11 win team, then we can talk about that season being a failure. But I think that you've put yourself in a position to continue to develop to become a 10 or 11 win team. And I think that's all you can ask for from this Bears team in year 2. But like I said, I do want to know how you guys feel, man. Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. As always, it's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again to continue watching our Chicago Bears content. Click the links on the screen. I think they over here, somewhere like that. Or check the links in the description below. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bird done. Peace.